What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. So I'm gonna skip the intro this time and get straight to the point. My oil pressure started messing up again, so I'm gonna turn this on so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Now here's my oil pressure gauge right here. So as you guys can see, the needle jumped all the way up to almost 80. So I'm pretty sure my oil pressure sensor went bad again. And if you guys recall, I did a video on that, on the replacement about the sensor about 5-6 weeks ago. So there's a small hack or a trick that you can do to figure out if it really is your oil pressure sensor, and you disconnect it while you disconnect the wire harness while your engine is on, and if it drops all the way down to 0, then you know your oil pressure sensor is bad. So I'm gonna disconnect that, and we'll see if it drops to 0, and we'll know what's going on here. So as you guys can see, my needle went back to 0, and I got that little oil can icon. So it is the oil pressure sensor that is bad. So I'm gonna turn this off and get that replaced. Alright guys, so we got our new oil pressure sensor. And this is the real deal right here. AC Delco OEM for Chevy Tahoe, part number 1267786. Cause I don't know if you guys remember my previous oil sensor repair. I got the Dorman oil pressure sensor, and I guess it is crap because I'm replacing it again. And I also got here, it's called a pigtail connector. It connects to the oil pressure sensor. That is part number 417 from AutoZone. And what I'm going to do here is cut the old well, maybe, I don't know yet, but cut the old sensor, or cut the old assembly out, or wire harness, cut it out and splice this new part in. Because what happens is when your oil pressure sensor goes bad, oil gets in here. Focus. Oil gets in here, and that may be what's causing my oil pressure reading to skyrocket. So it may be the pressure sensor, it may be the wire harness, pigtail assembly, who knows. And that fits in there just perfect. See, clicks in. Whoa. So for this, I'm gonna have to remove my intake manifold, because that's the only way I'll be able to splice this part in and be able to see what's really going on back there. Because in my last video, I kind of did it blindfolded, just by feeling around. Well, I may split this up into two different videos. Intake manifold removal, and then oil pressure sensor replacement again. So let's get right on this. Okay, so before you do anything else, you want to make sure to cover these up with paper, some sort of paper towel, so you don't get any more crap in here than there already is. Alright, moving on with this oil pressure sensor. It looks rather new. Oh, oil got in there again. Now to take our oil filter, or not oil filter, or oil pressure sensor filter out. Oh, had it.
I'm gonna have to go get more gas, but I don't have to go get more.
Okay, now to drop our new oil pressure sensor filter in place. So now to drop our new oil pressure sensor into place.
Alright, I'm gonna go change the neighbor's oil. That's our first one, cigar.
Yeah.
I was looking for the ratchet. You had it?
What ratchet? Oh, the Milwaukee?
Yeah.
Now we're gonna torque this down to 26 foot-pounds. Okay, so my wire harness seems to be missing that rubber gasket that goes around here. So that may be what contributed to why I was having bad oil pressure on the gauge. Obviously we know that my oil pressure is fine. It's just the sensor, and maybe even that. Okay, so I'm going to attempt to splice this because it's so full of crap and oil. I feel like if I just leave it, I'm just going to keep on getting a bad reading. Plus, I'm missing this rubber gasket that goes around there. Okay, so we got more than enough here to work with, and obviously our wire colors do not match, but as long as you match them up with the correct wire, you should be okay. So we'll do the blue one first on the new one for the top one. I'm gonna do this. God damn, it's so hard to focus. It's on camera. I'm gonna do this top one first, and then left or right, or either or, one at a time, so I don't get them confused. Okay, blue one is the top on my new one. Now to do this, I'm gonna fray the wires a bit. Whoa, almost forgot my shrink tubing. Oh, they hardly give you any wire to work with. Okay, so looking at our connector like this, now I'm going to do the right side. And that's a black wire on our new connector. Put our shrink tubing in. Man, I really hope this works. Okay, now for the last one. Okay, we got our 3 connections connected. So I'm now going to attempt to solder these. Okay, so that took longer than I expected. So now for shrink tubing.
It's gonna be really hard getting back there.
Okay, so there we have our new pigtail connector for our oil pressure. So if this doesn't work, then I don't know what will. I'm gonna zip tie that right there. Okay, so there it is. New OEM oil pressure sensor and new pigtail connector. It's not perfect, but it'll get the job done, hopefully. Now all we have to do is drop our intake manifold back in and turn it on and see what happens. But beforehand, I'm going to clean all this crap up since I got my intake manifold off, and I'll be back in a bit. Okay, so we got our battery connected. Now let's give this a try to see if it works. Now you want to make sure to pump your gas pedal a few times before turning it on, since we disconnected our fuel line. And what we want to do is keep our eye on the oil pressure gauge to see if our splice works. Wow, holy shit, it worked. Our oil pressure went up and it seems to be staying right below 40, which is normal. No check engine light. Alright guys, so I guess that's it. I'm pretty excited that my pigtail connector splice worked. and hopefully it stays that way permanent. What else can I say? That concludes of our oil pressure sensor replacement, again with a pigtail connector splice replacement as well. Let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe, support the channel. Thank you all for watching.